Good evening, Dr. Ritu. Am I audible?
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay. So shall we start our session?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just
Sir, can I share my
madam.
screen, sir?
Just 1 minute. Okay, now you can switch on your camera also, madam.
Yes.
Now, good evening to everybody once again. This is our 10th session. And for delivering the talk, Dr. Ritu Maiti is with us. She is senior engineer in the training department at Central Tool Room and Training Center, Bhubaneswar. She is well-grounded professional with more than 10 years of extensive experience in tool design, CAD/CAM, artificial intelligence. Prior to joining TTC, she worked in the production department of Tata Steel and EDMI Mumbai. With an impressive track record and corporate experience, having earned numerous scholarships throughout various stages of her academic and professional journey. Dr. Maiti is an alumnus of IIT Bhubaneswar with an impressive academic and professional record. She has delivered many lectures as a keynote speaker and is an avid researcher. She has published paper in High Impact Factor Journal and has over 13 patents granted to her credit. She had been mentor for industrial design technology trade in work skill competition, a biannual competition of global repute, and her student had won bronze medal in state level competition. Her uniqueness lies in translating the industrial requirement into academic curriculum towards bridging the industry institute gap. With this brief introduction, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Ritu Maiti. Please, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. So thank you so much for my introduction and thank you for inviting me for this session. Sir, to start this session, can I share my screen, sir?
Yes, sure, madam.
Sir, due to network issues, I'll be keeping this camera off for a bit time while my presentation is on, sir.
No issue, madam.
I'm just sharing the screen, sir. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'll start the session. So as today's session is on artificial intelligence and machine learning for smart manufacturing and micro machining. So we'll start the topic with this new era of AI, where AI is taking over the manufacturing process and all the industries are looking into smart manufacturing and how it is affecting the micro machining and nano machining domain, which is the main topic of this FDP. So we'll be going through this. To start with, just a minute, please. To start with, first of all, what is smart manufacturing? So nowadays we can see all the industries are moving towards smart manufacturing concept. Nowadays we have the concept of industry 4.0, where we say that all machines are automated, all the machines are able to take decision by themselves. So our industries are changing drastically in this last 10 years. We can see there are a huge amount of changes happening in the industries, and almost all the industries are moving towards smart manufacturing concept, and which is AI enabled, AI, IoT, and various technologies together are coming into our manufacturing sector. So smart manufacturing is the use of advanced technologies to make the manufacturing process more efficient. It integrates the physical and digital processes to improve our supply chain performance and respond to better changing demand. So when we look into what the smart factory are doing actually, and what are the technologies they are using, so under that comes AI plays the major role, because artificial intelligence is a technology in which we try to make machines intelligent, and in smart factories are the concept in which all the machines are intelligent enough to take decision by themselves. In smart factories we will be having very less human beings, all the machines will be controlled by itself. So machines are now intelligent, they are able to take decisions. So obviously to happen these things to happen, we need the technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, cloud computing. All these technologies are coming together to make the smart factories concept work. Then nowadays, previously we in manufacturing sectors we focused on subtractive manufacturing process. We have various machining process which we are already using, and mostly are where the subtractive manufacturing process. But nowadays in current era we will seeing the additive manufacturing process, whereby adding layer by layer of material we are making the product. So various complicated items can be made easily through additive manufacturing process. Nowadays in the manufacturing sectors we have the concept of augmented reality, virtual reality, where we are like, if there is an automobile company who want to produce we want to launch a new model of the car. So before launching the new model of the car, they are making the model of the car in the software. So after making the car in the software, model has been made. So how do they feel that, what is the real feeling of the car? Like if I sit inside the car, what is the seat spacing, where is the steering wheel positions, is everything in a proper position or not? In order to check that, nowadays we have a concept of virtual reality. By wearing the headsets we will be going into a virtual environment where we will be feeling like we are actually sitting inside the model of the car that we have designed. So in order to evaluate our designs in a more better way, virtual reality is getting used, augmented reality. So all these concepts are coming together to make our industry smart. So why the smart manufacturing is getting a boom in current era, we can say. So it is because it is increasing the businesses like anything. So business can be scalable by help of the smart manufacturing concept. Mass productions are becoming more easier. Customizations are possible, mass customization. Previously, if someone is looking into a very specific product, like if I say that I need a particular design of car, so maybe it won't be possible in the previous system. But now in current era, people are working for this smart industries and smart manufacturing processes, where they are saying that if a person comes for a customized product, customized car, if he wants, then also will be able to manufacture and give it, because the time that was previously taken to make a product has been reduced because of this new technologies that are coming in our industries in the current time. So now coming into, as our topic of discussion is into micro machining techniques and how AI and the new technologies are impacting micro machining. So I'll be first discussing about micro machining, and then we'll move into how AI is affecting micro manufacturing processes. So micro machining is basically a precision manufacturing process for removing material at microscopic level to create highly accurate miniaturized features and components. So it differs from conventional conventional machining by working with much smaller dimensions, often under 1 mm, and achieving higher precision tolerances in micrometer ranges. So micro machining is a very critical area where getting the precision is very, very important and very, very critical. So let us see that how these technologies are impacting this field. So if I try to divide this micro manufacturing into different categories, classify into various domains. So under micro manufacturing, we have different MEMS technologies, that is micro electromechanical system technologies like lithography based methods, photolithography, plating methods, chemical etching methods, LIGA methods are there, through which we are able to generate micro components which are getting used for mostly electromechanical parts. It is getting used, circuit parts designings and the manufacturing, it is getting used. And some are the non-MEMS technology processes which comes under micro manufacturing, like micro laser cutting, drilling, micro grinding, micro milling and drilling processes, turning processes, micro extrusion processes, embossing processes. So these are the different categories. Now we'll be seeing further how AI is impacting this non-MEMS technology area. That is again a huge area where micro manufacturing, various challenges are being faced when we go for micro machining through laser cutting or laser drilling, or it is through grinding process or drilling process. So how the accuracies and precisions are being achieved. So now need for why we are talking about this micro machining and nano fabrication, why are this becoming very fast progressing in the industries and why it is becoming a demand of current era. It is because of nowadays we have various complex 3D components that has to be done, and micro scale features are being produced. Then we are moving more into electronic devices, semiconductor devices. Then when we talk about those electrical components, in that miniature parts are there, so machining of that part is required through micro machining processes. Then superior properties of materials are required. Nano and micro label surface finish are required. Microfluidic channels are required in various places to develop various R&D products. So, and as well as this micro machining area involves a lot of it contributes to healthcare sectors, where we develop various micro stents that are used in surgeries. So that are very small parts which are inserted into human bodies. They are also micro machining and nano machining concepts are required. And again, very high precisions are required in those domains. If we talk about applications of micro machining, so creation of high precision surgical equipments. Surgical equipments is the most important area where micro machining is playing a very, very important role. Micro components are being generated for various robotic surgeries. Then various critical components are inserted into human bodies, which are very small and miniaturized products. And it is used for development of various MEMS devices, critical and precise circuit parts manufacturing, then various sensor parts. They are also micro machining and nano machining is required. Accelerometers, pressure sensors, fabrication of antennas, filters, resonators, and in aerospace and defense sectors also micro machining plays a major role. Coming into micro machining challenges, what are the challenges normally people are facing while micro machining? So we at our organization also are involved with various aerospace component manufacturing, where we deal with various precise sensor parts manufacturing, as well as we deal with various medical equipments manufacturing processes, where we find the major challenge is getting the precise extreme precision that is desired in that product, in application of that product. So that I can say the sub micrometer accuracy that is required, that is critical features we have to achieve and mostly we have very small dimension which is smaller than human hair, and that much precision has to be achieved. That accuracy achieving is a major challenge. And traditional limitations we can say, like toolware, process variability, quality control challenges. So these are also the major challenges. Quality problems happens mostly while we go for this micro machining processes. So how this new technology, when we talk about this advancement in technologies, how it can help to overcome these challenges. So AI solution can provide us smart and adaptive machining systems that can overcome the conventional manufacturing barriers. So further we'll be discussing on that key how AI can help to overcome these major challenges of micro machining. So now coming into what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is basically a capability of machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. As we all are human beings, so we know that we have a brain, so we have the capability to think, act and react. So that means we are intelligent because we have a human brain to take the decisions. But in machine, how do we build this capability? How do we make machines learn like human beings? So that is done through technology of artificial intelligence. When we try to build intelligence artificially in machines, that technology is known as your artificial intelligence. So it is basically a capability of machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. Now coming into what is this technology currently we are talking about. As I told you about AI, means it is a technology in which we try to make machines intelligent or machines behave like human beings. So how do we do it? For that different techniques are there. So artificial intelligence is a broader area in which we are saying that we want to make system smarts or system intelligent. In order to make it, we have different technique. Like we have one of the technique is known as machine learning, then we have deep learning, and currently we are in an era where we have the concept of generative AI and AI tools being used everywhere. So now coming into what is machine learning and deep learning, if I tell you briefly about what is machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning is basically a technology in which we try to make machines learn like human beings, in which we give certain input to the computer, then we give output to the computer, then we leave the computer to learn from the data. Once it learns the same, when we ask a question, it should be able to tell us the answer. Just like how do we teach our students to learn the things, similar way machine learning also works. So for example, if I want to conduct a object detection, so as we all know nowadays, in traffic signals you'll see that an intelligent camera is there. So if you're not wearing a helmet, it will detect and send a notifications to your mobile also. So how it is happening? So previously the how the model has been trained. So people take various images of human being with helmet and without helmet, and they have made computer understand that, see, this images, this all images with are with helmet images, and this images are without helmet images. So computer try to remember the features and patterns of helmets with human being with helmets and human being without helmets. So it once it remember the features and patterns, so whenever it sees a new image where the person is, if it is wearing a helmet, it will tell us that this is with helmet, and other and if the person is not wearing a helmet, it will tell it is without helmet. So this is how we make machines learn. In machine learning, we give input and output and we train the machines to learn. So for conducting this machine learning, we basically use the mathematical equations. The back end of machine learning goes in such a manner that we have a mathematical equation in which we put the inputs, processing happens, then we get an output. Whereas when we go into the next level, deep learning, it is basically an advancement of machine learning where we have some neural network concept, some neural network trained networks are present. Taking those networks, by giving our input, we can generate output with a very accurate results. Though both the technology work in same manner only, we give input to the computer and output to the computer. The computer learns from the data. Once it learns the same, when we ask a question, it is able to tell us the answer. But main difference is the architecture behind it, the maths behind it, how this both algorithms are working. So deep learning is an advanced advancement of machine learning, which can give us more better results, as it is based on concept of neural networks. And now after deep learning, nowadays we have concept of generative AI, where we are in an era of generative AI, where everywhere people are using AI tools everywhere. So all of you would have used ChatGPT or Gemini AI or Claude AI. We know there are various AI tools available. So what ChatGPT is basically doing, when you are asking a question, it is able to tell you an answer. How it is telling you an answer? It has been trained on a huge database. It is trained on an LLM model, large language model. On a huge database it has been trained, with a lot of interactions is given to it, so it has learned from it. So now when you are asking a question to it, so it is able to track the answers from its database, and it is able to give you the answer. But one uniqueness about this generative AI is that here also we have given input and output, and we have trained the model, but uniqueness is it has the capability to learn by itself also. So as you see in ChatGPT, when you keep on interacting with ChatGPT is that model has been made in such a way that it is trying to evolve itself as per your interactions. Every day it is changing, it is modifying itself, it is trying to make it more better. So many times if you'll see that when you are interacting with ChatGPT, it sometimes asks for your feedbacks. So if you give a good feedback, then it understands that answers it is giving to you are correct. So accordingly it remembers the answer. So if you give a bad feedback, then it tries to modify its model, and it will try to retrain itself and give you another better answer. So this is how the model is trying to learn by itself. This is the era of generative AI, where we know that nowadays people are generating images, various trends are coming, we are giving a photo. See, this AI tools are able to add features into it, any clothes into it, make different images out of it. So if we give a context, I want to do micro machining on this particular job, it will create a image for that also. So image generation tools are there, code generation tools are there, video generation. So there are a lot of generative AI is working everywhere now. And if we talk about industries also, there also generative AI tools are getting used in industries, that we'll be seeing further in the examples. So this is all about your AI. So AI is a broader area where we have different techniques to implement AI, like machine learning, deep learning, and currently we have generative AI. So now coming into how does this AI platform works, if I say, so when we are talking about industry applications, how AI is getting used in industries. Suppose I say that I want to do predictive maintenance in industries. So suppose I am having a workshop in which there are hundreds of machines, and we know that in case of maintenance, in every 3 months duration or 4 months duration, people do preventive maintenance. But nowadays we have a concept of predictive maintenance. In predictive maintenance, what happens, we connect various sensors to our machines, and we try to collect real-time data from the machine, and we monitor how the machine is working. And if any of the parameter is going up and down, let's say the machine vibration level is increasing, in that case I'll get a notification in my mobile that this machine is having a problem, or whoever is the in charge of the department will get a notification that this machine has a problem. Then he has to take the immediate action so that failure won't happen. So this is how the AI systems are working now. So like if I tell you a total workflow of AI, so first we need to have, if we want to establish this type of predictive maintenance in our workflows, what we need to do, first of all we need to have data. We need to make machine trained that which parameter, if it goes up and down, the machine needs maintenance. For that the machine has to be trained on that. So for that, first of all we need to collect real-time data from the machine. So how we are going to have real-time data from the machine? We need to access the data first. So data we can collect either real-time data we can collect through sensors. So in let's say we are having some 50 CNC machines are now soft floor. So in the machines I have attached different temperature sensor, pressure sensor, vibration detects, this type of different sensors I have attached. So from that I am tracking all the data, and it is getting collected in a cloud platform. There the data are getting stored. So once I get the data from the machine, then I need to take the data either it can be taken through sensor, through sensors we can collect the data if you want to collect real-time data, or sometimes the data are already there in a particular database. From that you can take the data and also make AI models. So first of all is accessing the data. Once I have got the data, then I need to do data analysis, analyzing the data. This is another area which is also getting a lot of boom in current few years. We can see data analytics or data science area. So this data analytics also plays a major role for AI models to work. So once we get the data, what happens when we collect data from sensors? So normally we get lot of informations of the machines, like maybe machine name, model number, all the details, like temperature, pressure, moisture, vibration level, all details. But let's say if I say that I have got 50 inputs from the machine, but out of that maybe 10 or 20 are really important, which can predict that machine failure will happen or will not happen, and some parameter are really not important. So in that case, by using data analysis tool, we need to analyze and find out which inputs are important for predictions that whether machine breakdown will happen or not, and which are not important. Which are not important, we can remove that, and which are really important, we need to keep that. So that is how we perform our data analysis. So once data analysis is done, then we have to develop an AI model. So AI models are nothing but a mathematical model in which we give input, then it goes inside that mathematical function, then processing happens, then we get an output. So in our case, let's say after doing data analysis, let's say I have few parameters 5 to 6, like I have given pressure level of the machine, temperature of the machine, vibration levels of the machine, like that 5 to 6 parameters I have given as input. So it goes inside a mathematical function, processing will happen, then I'll get an output, whether output will come in this manner, breakdown will happen or not happen. Because of this parameters, breakdown will happen or not happen. Like this I'll be getting the answers. But when I get the answers, it is normally in software platform. Then I have to deploy it into the hardware, because I should get either a notification in my mobile, or I should get a buzzer from the machine that this machine needs maintenance. For that I need to deploy it into the hardware by help of some embedded devices. So this is how the total workflow of AI works in industries, that is accessing the data, analyzing the data, developing an AI model, and deploying this. Now coming into role of AI and machine learning in micro machining. So if we talk about how this AI is contributing to micro manufacturing processes, so first is sensor data analysis. So AI algorithms can continuously monitor the machining parameter through an advanced sensor network. So nowadays, as we are moving into smart factories eras, smart manufacturing, where all machines are intelligent and they are connected with sensors, all the data are getting collected by help of sensors and getting stored in cloud platform. There it is important that how this sensor data need to be monitored, because let's say all the machines are automated. If one of the machine fails, then the total line machining line will stop, right? So how do we properly monitor the machining parameters? So that is a major area is getting taken care by help of AI. Then dynamic parameter adjustment, that is instant adaptation of cutting parameters, maintains consistent precisions and extends tool life. Dynamic parameter adjustments, how to adjust different cutting parameters so that we can get consistent results, precise results during machining. If we are seeing that somewhere we are not getting the perfect precision or accuracy, so how can the machine stop and retrain it and again give the correct values so that we can get the better results? So that is dynamic parameter adjustment, how the systems are able to do by help of AI technology. Then sub micrometer achievements, like AI powered laser micro machining systems, which delivers autonomous parameter tuning, which can give you most accurate results. So these are the areas where AI is helping the micro machinings to grow. before moving forward into different type of applications of micro machining, AI applications in micro machining domain, I would like to show you a small video on how our smart factories are working. Then we'll move into this more detail into this AI applications into micro machining. So I'll just share you a video. Is the video visible?
Yes, madam.
Okay, sir. So we can see how the industries are changing in the current era. So we'll continue with the few examples. So this we can see from the video that how in the current era the industries are changing and taking an advancement, and how this concept of artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, this are contributing to make our industries more smarter. So now next coming into future of AI in manufacturing, if you look into, so there is we can say that a huge amount of AI in manufacturing sectors, and in next years it is going to increase drastically. So more where it is getting used, majority it is getting used for predictive maintenance first, then it is used for data driven process management, how to make the processes more better, quality optimization, process visualizations, automations, where it is getting used much widely. So now next is AI for predictive maintenance. So as I was talking about key, mostly in industries now AI is getting used for predictive maintenance. So before failure we should get a notification that machine is going to fail. So like if you can see this type of systems, now industries, all the automobile sectors have totally their assembly lines are automated. Everywhere you can see the robotic arms are doing assembly of the product. So just think that if one of the product fails, then the total assembly line can stop. So for that it is important that using AI technique we need to track the tool wear out. If any of the robotic arm is failing, before a failure I should get a notification so that I can immediately take a action so that none of the robotic arm fail. If one robotic arm fails, the total line production can stop. So that is why it is much more important to have this concept of predictive maintenance now. Predictive maintenance can fix this type of catastrophic failure from happening nowadays. Then if we talk about next is quality inspections. So intelligent quality inspection systems are getting used by industries now. So previously people used to go for visual inspection methods, manual methods for checking. Nowadays people are using intelligent cameras which is trying to check the quality of the product in a more better and accurate way. Surface roughness tolerance analysis can also be done using AI technique. Zero defect manufacturing through AI vision systems is the main vision of the industries now, and actually it is getting achieved also very accurately because many human errors get eliminated when we are using AI enabled system. If you are using an intelligent camera, so what that camera would be doing, the exactly whatever the product I require at finally end product, how my end product will look like, that original design will be present with me, which I'll be feeding into the computer. Now when the part has been made, so you have brought before that system, so camera will capture the photograph of the product that you have made and it will try to overlap with the original drawing and try to check if there is any defect or not. So in that process it eliminates the human error and makes the process more faster and accurate. So when we talk about this monitoring systems, quality measurement systems, this manufacturing environment has mostly divided this monitoring systems into two areas, that is monitoring system health and monitoring product health. When we talk about monitoring system health, it is about the machines, how the machines are working properly or not, if to detect if there is any fault in the manufacturing while machining in the machine, is there any fault, or the cutting tool if there is any fault, if we are using any damage tool or not. Real time monitoring of health indexes, like using sensors taking the signals from the machine, is the machine is having some problems where maintenance is required, or any tool damage tool has been used, that can also lead to bad quality product. How the life of the components can be predicted, the tools that we are using, what is the life of the tool, when the tool need to be replaced. All this monitoring can make our system process more better. Then monitoring product health, so that is basically our quality inspection. So where we are talking about intelligent cameras being used for visual inspection systems, so that comes under quality inspection. So inspection is getting done in various stages and various AI enabled systems are getting used for inspection process nowadays. Like here is an example of visual inspection system. As I was talking about, we'll be using an intelligent camera and will be previously having the part image, design already, and now whatever through camera I'm taking the image, I'll overlap both the images to find out if there are any fault or not. So this is how industries are mostly using visual inspection system currently to detect the defects. So this is a case study by a Japanese company where they have done detection of abnormality in automotive parts. So using this visual inspection system, they could do inspection of around 1.3 million bevel gear per month. Then nowadays various steel industries are also using defect detection using this visual inspection system. So they are also using intelligent camera, where the camera after it studies the steel coil, it will be able to identify where the scratches are there or where dent marks are there. It will be able to identify and it will make the process more smoother and accurate. Then next is generative designs for smart manufacturing using AI. So nowadays, the design tools that we are already using in industries are using AI technology to make the designs more better. Previously, the designers in the industries used to optimize the design. Let's say a product has been made, we need to further make changes into it to make it optimized in terms of its weight or mass, volume, or applicability. Based on this, we need to optimize it. So nowadays we have generative design tools available in the software itself, where it can automatically, if we say that I want to optimize this part according to its volume, so it will be optimizing the part. So nowadays we have various advanced features in the CAD softwares that we are using in industries, like if we give a 2D drawing, so almost the outer 3D drawing will be generated automatically. So various AI tools are getting integrated, which are making the work of the designers more faster and easier. Then there is a concept known as digital twin, which is also getting widely used in industries when we talk about smart industries, smart factories concept, and it is also having applications in micro manufacturing domain. So we'll see a small video on what is digital twin is. I hope the video is visible.
Yes, madam, video is visible.
Okay. Here we can see a digital twin is basically a virtual representation of a physical device. So whatever physical device we are trying to make, when we make an exact replica of it, and we are able to see the real-time results in that. Suppose like we have made a micro manufacturing of a particular circuit systems that we have developed. So if you are able to make the virtual replica of it and exactly see how the current and electricity is passing through it, and real time results if we can get, so that is the concept of the digital twin. Digital twin concept is taking a lot of popularity now, which are getting used in different sectors of industries, starting from automobile, semiconductor industries, electronic sectors. In different industries, this aerospace sectors, this digital twin concept is getting used, because where we can simulate the real-time data and check it. Previously, like if you take an example, suppose in a automobile industry, when they are coming up with a new car model, so they first build its prototype and they do a crash test of it. So previously they used to make the model and do the crash test in the software, then they will be making the physical prototype, then they will really dash into the wall and check that what deformation you are getting when you actually dash into the wall, and in the software you will be getting little bit variations. But in the current era of digital twin, so whatever like you can directly connect your physical thing with the software thing, where what when the really the car hits the wall, the results can directly be seen in the software itself. The real time simulations, real time environments can be given. So that is the area of digital twin, which is also gaining a lot of popularity. So these were some of the areas which is helping the industries to make work in a more smarter way, to optimize our production processes. Mostly how AI is getting used. So ML algorithms basically improves our resource allocations. So how can we use our resources in a more efficient way? AI helps in optimizing our production schedules, optimize our processes in a more better way, how to get a more better accuracies and precisions. It can manage our inventory in a more better way, it will minimize our wastage, maximize our output. So these are also the benefits which are optimize this AI technology can help us in optimizing our production processes. And we have concept of now hybrid manufacturing and AI powered simulations. So how this is working, like hybrid processes, AI seamlessly integrate subtractive micro machining with additive processes. So nowadays AI can integrate your subtractive micro machining processes with additive manufacturing, additive processes, and it will expand your design possibilities, and all the traditional limitations can be overcome through it. So they are trying to make hybrid processes. Then through AI, advanced simulations, predicting machining outcomes, optimizing the parameters of the machines are possible. So in that process we are able to make our systems more better, and we can save the cost of the material also. And nowadays AI is helping us to more visualize the things properly, so that we'll be having less hit and trial methods, reduce trial and error methods. Because if you look into digital twin concept, where we are able to simulate the product in a real time environment, then before making the prototype itself, if I am having some problem in my model, so in the design stage itself, in the virtual stage itself, I'll be able to change it. So it will be leading to less so our cost involvement when we are really making a prototype, and we are failing when we are testing the prototype. So lot of cost gets involved over there. So we but this cost saving can be done when we are into digital twin concept. Virtually we are able to check the things in a more better way, and we are able to modify our designs, so that when we make the prototype the things won't fail. So this is really helping the systems to grow in a more better way. So we have reduced trial and error methods now, like critical expensive microfabrication material where waste must be minimized. So there this hit and trial methods can really lead to a high cost that are able to be reduced by help of AI technologies. Then AI driven laser micromachinings, this is also creating a breakthrough in the industries, like AI integrated laser micromachining systems. They are using artificial neural network concepts to autonomously optimize the laser ablation parameters. So laser machining parameters, how to make it in a more better way, optimize machining, how it can be done, are being done through AI technologies, through deep learning technologies that we have discussed previously. Then real-time precisions, how we can get, how can we have more better precisions. We can see whenever we are machining, how can we monitor the precisions and make it more better. So that type of systems also we have now. Enhanced results, how we can get superior accuracy, repeatability in micro channel fabrications, for advanced lab cheap design devices designings. So these are the areas where AI is helping to grow. Precision laser micro machining in semiconductor manufacturing. So like ultra fast lasers create complex microstructures with sub-micron accuracies. So nowadays we have a concept of laser micro machining, and where AI is helping to control these process parameters of laser drilling, laser annealing or trimming, where how much is required, so that we can get more accurate products. Because in semiconductor industries there is again major challenge of getting sub-micron accuracies. So AI is helping to achieve those accuracy in a more better way. This technology also enables scalable high throughput productions. So in less time more amount of productions can be done, because AI is getting used to make your processes more better and smoother. So obviously in less time you will be able to get more accurate product, which people used to do in a manual method. So AI enabled dynamic process optimization. So through AI, how our process is getting optimized. Like we have a concept of reinforcement learning, where advanced models dynamically adjust machining parameters to maintain surface integrity despite tool wear. So how nowadays AI is helping our machining process to work in a more better way. How the machining parameters can be controlled in a more better way to have more better surface finish, less tool wear. Then we have extended tool life. Significantly, it extends the cutting tool lifespan while ensuring consistent functional surface qualities. Then real-time adaptations. So how to make the parameter settings more better, how real-time adaptive controls can be made. So this is the areas where AI is helping optimizing the processes. Then laser micro milling machining. So this is again a very critical area of machining. So ultra fast pulse laser machines integrate features down to 10 micrometers on ultra hard materials like tungsten carbide. So AI assisted CAM softwares now can generate precise tool part for complex 3D microstructures. So various complicated structures can be machined by help of AI assisted softwares, so which can give us more better and precise tool path and results. Micro textured molds, complex surface patterns can be achieved. Precision on carbide cutting tools. So very fine and thin structures can be machined. So this were the applications areas where AI is playing a great role in helping our processes to grow in a more better way in micro machining sectors. So now coming into the benefits of smart manufacturing. So it can optimize our resource utilization. It gives us a competitive edge. Cost cutting happens. We get better quality, higher customer satisfaction. Productivity of the plant will increase. Better innovative products we can get. Customized products also we can get. Then, if you talk about risk associated with manufacturing, it basically deals with, you can say, the safety of the data, because when you are connected, when you are making smart system, so everything is connected with internet. So there are chances of hacking happening. So for that, again, we have areas of cyber security where how this type of things can be controlled are also being taken care of. Then when we talk about AI, when our systems are changing, our machines are becoming advanced, we need to make our workforce ready for that, which is also creating a challenge. Then adverse social impacts, so it can be reduced person to person interaction, because nowadays machines are able to interact with themselves, because machines are smart. One machine can tell other machine that what operation has to be done in the machines, or what next operations has to be conducted. So physical devices are interacting, so this can like this has an impact. Then about security, so obviously it is getting taken care by cyber security domain area. Now coming into, if I talk about challenges involved in applying AI for micro manufacturing, is first major challenge is data availability and quality. So mostly we see that in order to make a AI model, in order to make computer intelligent, you always need data. You need data in which you need to train computer that this is your input and output. You need to train computer on a particular set of data. Once it is trained, when you are asking a question, it is able to tell you the answer. If you are working on optimizing parameter of laser machine, then also you have to make computer understand that if this are my setting parameters, then my quality of output will be better, otherwise my quality of output will be low. So that you have to make it understand. So for that, data is required. So micro scale experiments are generally expensive and time consuming. So very less amount of data are available basically, so sparse amount of labeled data. So whenever anyone is planning to do defect detections during micro machining processes, for that getting a data becomes a major challenge. So where from I'll get the data? So every time doing those experiments also becomes very costly. So it is not possible that every time you can conduct the experiments. So because to make AI models work in a better way, need huge amount of data with which it has to be trained. Suppose I am doing a defect detection in cutting tools. I want to detect that which tool is a damaged tool and which one is a good tool. So for that, I need to give around 1 lakh images, 60,000 or 1 lakh images of different tools with damaged tools and good tools, and make computer understand that this all images are of good tools and this all images are of damaged tools. Then only will computer will understand, and accordingly it will give you the predictions. So getting the data becomes a major challenge. Then sensor limitations, like high frequencies or high resolution sensors are needed for micro scale signals to come. So it becomes a costly affair to do always the research on it. Noise and variability, micro scale processes produce high noises that require sophisticated pre-processing basically. So there it becomes a challenge again. Then next is process variability. So in this case, like material and tools that we are using, so AI models are trained on one of the material or tool setup, and it often fail when transferred to another setup due to the differences in the processes. So let's say I have trained my AI model to predict on a particular material the defects, though when we change the setup, maybe it won't be able to produce that good result. So that is the, when we change the material or tool, the differences are coming. So then next is environment sensitive. Microprocessors are highly sensitive to temperature or humidity or machining condition, so that can also alter our data. So that is also a challenge that we are facing in this areas. Then next we can say that integration with real-time control. So how the whatever the models, AI models we are trying to make, how can we integrate with real-time scenario, integration with the real-time controls, like micro machining operates at high spindle speed, we know high spindle speed and feed rates. So AI must predict and act within that millisecond. So that also becomes a challenge, whether when the micro machining is happening at that fast rate, so AI should be able to predict defect over there immediately. In millisecond it has to do the predictions, which becomes again a challenge. Then edge computing limitations on machine controllers have limited memories and compute for running deep models without proper optimizations. That is also a constraint. Then cost and complexity of instrumentations. So installing, like if I want to do defect detections or quality checking in case of micro manufactured components, so a very high resolution cameras are required. Then if you are going for laser method, laser vibrators are required, or acoustic emission sensors are required. So those are very costly, and to handle that, they are also complicated things which need to be handled with proper care. So cost becomes a major challenge. Then One more problem comes with standardization process. There is no common standard data formats to do the AI model analysis in these sectors. That also becomes a challenges for new researchers. Uh, then we have another area is cyber security and IP protections. Sharing micro manufacturing process data for AI development can lead to IP related problems or trade secret concerns. Semiconductor industries won't like to share the details, right? So that type of things happens. Then human machine interactions. Operators may need to override AI recommendations. So sometimes what happens while doing a machining, so operator need to take a decision instantly, which maybe at that time AI won't be able to take. So that is also a challenge being faced. So these are the areas which need to further looked into for further development. Then if we talk about future of AI in this micro machining domain, so there are various areas where further AI research is being done in this area to make how this micro machining sectors more better. Just multi-axis integrations, advanced AI integration with multi-axis micro machining systems for complex 3D micro fabrication capabilities. Then dynamic surface control, how AI models can predict the surface quality in a more better way, and how in diverse material types it can contribute. Continuous productions, how it can happen, how AI enabled systems can help in 24/7 production operations and with better quality. Fully autonomous micro machining systems, how it can be done, how the precisions and speed can be achieved. So these are the areas where further work is being getting done in the AI areas. And I would like to show you few AI tools which are getting used in industries currently also, how AI tools industries are using. We can see it through a video. Few use of AI tools they have shown through this video. So this is the various AI tool for manufacturing industries. So these were some of the applications that are getting used in the industries. So currently a few are licensed things that are getting used in the industries to do their predictive maintenance, to have their qualities more better, to make their quality inspection processes more better, to get the precise results they are already using. And few more processes are being in development stage where the research is going on to make how to have accurate results in case of micro machining and nano machining, how precision and accuracy can be achieved, where major challenge in AI becomes capturing a high resolution images and doing the predictions. Basically in this miniature domain it becomes a major challenge. So coming into the future outlooks and next generation, there is fully autonomous work systems which future will be having, that is complete AI integration enabling self-operating micro machining systems with minimal human oversight. So we can say that in future we'll be having fully autonomous workstations, democratized expertise, user-friendly AI interfaces will be made with advancement in this area of manufacturing and micro machining areas, how AI will be used further. For that, user-friendly interfaces will be developed, continuous learning systems will be developed so that we can have more precision, efficiency, accuracies, and customizations happening. So this is how these AI is helping this manufacturing sectors to grow, and further the research is being conducted in these areas to make the systems more better. So this is all I have to share with you people about the AI techniques and micro machining. And thank you everyone for patiently hearing me.
Thank you, madam. Participant,
Welcome, sir. Any questions?
participant, now we are opening the session for question and answer. So if there is any questions, please write in the chat box or raise your hand. Madam, meanwhile, I have one question that
Yes, sir.
when we talk about this digital uh, twin,
Yes, sir.
so what are the right now the tools available for creating this? One is the through CAD model. Is it the digital copy of that,
No, no, sir. No. The CAD model that we are making, that is
or
not
it is
the
some?
digital twin concept.
Okay.
They are having some specific software, sir. Siemens is having a digital twin specific software. In that, like, sir, as you people would have been using analysis software like ANSYS, for example. In that, you do simulations, na, sir. So, like that, Siemens is having a digital twin platform. In that, once you make that CAD model, you can bring it over there. Then there are real-time options available. So where you can connect, they have some options by which you can connect your machine directly. Your machine sensors can be connected with that software, interfacing can be done. So we are currently in our organization trying to bring this Siemens digital twin setup. Actually we are trying to, we have a discussion with them, we will be procuring that. We have, sir, a lot of micro machinings and precision machinings we do it for aerospace sector, sir, in our center, in Central Tool Room and Training Center. So we are more into aerospace manufacturing. So we are planning to take it so that we can monitor the systems in a more better way, as it is through collaboration with ISRO also we are going to do it, because various industries are doing it, sir. It's a specific software and they will be doing attachment so that the sensors data will be directly linked when you have the real device, sir. In that the sensors data will be coming into your your virtual environment, and there you will be able to simulate and see the things.
So
So it
that
is different from our thing. A bit costly, sir. So that is why currently we are having a discussion. So it will take a cost of around 25 to 50 lakhs to do our total setup. So it's a bit costly now, sir. But many industries are working on it, sir. And we are trying to procure for Siemens, sir. There are many other platforms also, but Siemens is doing good in this, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay. Thank you.
Second,
Thank you.
one question is there in chat box. Is there any specific LLM using generative AI in the field of micro machining?
Sir, actually, there are various LLM models available. Specific name, as of now, I don't have that specific name available because where there are different. When we talk about micro machining area, so open source things are not available, sir. So this is they are companies are developing. Specific companies are developing. So if like normally when we go for certain project for student purpose, when we see we have various LLM models in Hugging Face models, we have various transformers available. Usko lekar sir we do various project. But for micro machining, this type of things open source it is not available. So they are taking LLM models and which are getting developed by certain industries. So when we also try to do certain thing in this area, I don't get any open source model directly for that. So mostly I have to look into that because there are various LLM models, but specifically for micro machining, open source models are not till now. We will not be able to access it. That is the problem we are having now. And micro machining becomes a very niche area, we can say micro and nano, because data is very less. So here AI research also, if you go through research paper also, sir, there are a lot of challenges here. Like if like as we all are into research field also, we try to do various research work. So there open source getting data becomes difficult. So here this is the major challenge. Otherwise, if it is normal machining, we can get lot of datas. Micro machining, nano machining, there it's a challenge to get the datas basically. And LLM also freely it is not available.
Suppose, madam, for normal manufacturing, when
Hmm.
we go for this making the AI model for
Yes, sir.
suppose any particular machine, let us say the drilling machine for
Yes, sir.
optimization purpose,
Hmm.
then how we suppose somebody's claim that is it is the AI based drilling machine.
Hmm.
So for the particular in the parameter selection and optimization,
Hmm.
so how it what scale of the data first of all we need to convert it or to establish the AI feature in
Hmm.
particular that drilling machine
So
kind of.
minimum for optimization, if you want to do of any machine, like we did for our EDM machine, so minimums are experiments you have to conduct minimum 100 to 200 sample data are required. That is also less for AI model to work in a proper way, but there are methods by which we can increase those data. But minimum 100 200 sample data are required. So through that we tried to do one of the project with our EDM machine parameter optimization. But again, I'll say the accuracy level I need to further enhance, which we had done for our system. We had
Because
done,
for
sir, a few
yes.
projects our students had done for CNC machine also, sir. Like if there is any damage tool, how to detect that. They have put a intelligent camera. Then they had a microcontroller they had attached because unko like we cannot give access to use directly CNC machine का controller हम उनको use करने नहीं दिए थे. So they made a separate attachment and they did the project. So if like you are allowing in your organization to do the R&D with your controllers, because anyways CNC machines are costly, so we are always not allowed to do on their controllers. Again, if I attach certain like sir, suppose you are planning to do on your drilling machine, so once you do the some AI model, you need to deploy in your machine, so you need the controllers into that. So maybe you can have a separate attachment you can use and do, because most of the time the existing machine may not support the platforms that you are using. That are the challenges we are also facing, sir. So currently though we are having external attachments and we are doing. So like, but there are people like we are in discussion with IIT Delhi, so they are developing various this kind of systems, so we are trying to do along with them also. So there are people who are working on that. We are currently sir doing on external attachments we are doing actually.
Okay. Because why I'm asking, because a lot of means ANN based model and GA based genetic algorithm based model,
Yes.
lot many models are already implemented for optimization kind of thing. So when we integrate these models, so and we have to, as per what we understood, that when if you go for the AI feature, then we should have a large data for that also. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. For AI models, obviously the database has to be very large. And mostly in research work, sir, we propose that, but when we deploy it into the machines, that time the result variation comes. Like normally what we are doing in analysis and what we are getting in the real environment, it also varies, sir, most of the times.
Okay, thank you very much, madam. Participant, is there any other question from your side? I think there is no question from the participant side, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you so much,
And
sir.
we will looking forward for other sessions also. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
So with this, we are end up our session. Participant, good night to all of you. We will meet tomorrow.